free throw. It's like that old barking dog play where you run in the corner and you bark like a dog, and then you're like, what's going on? Boom, inbound pass, layup. It's a great play. So from now on, flop or not, you can just be like, wow, the floor is slippery.
Oh,
and the guy with the mop is like, oh, geez, I'm going to lose my job. These people keep slipping. Not true. It's just a strategy.
Yesterday, LeBron celebrated his birthday the way only he can, quite literally, as he became the only player in the history of the league to score at least 10 points in 1,000 straight games. The second longest active streak is James Harden. He's at 411. Third longest is Kevin Durant. Fourth longest is Kawhi Leonard. They are both shy of 200 straight games. So this is a record that will never be broken. I think a lot of people know that. What you might not know to contextualize it is this. LeBron has now scored double-digit points in more games in a row than Larry Bird or Magic Johnson played in their entire careers. Michael Jordan played 930 career games with the Chicago Bulls. LeBron has scored 10 points or more 1,000 straight times. That's how he celebrated his 36th birthday. I had my 36th birthday a couple months ago. I celebrated with some Black and Milds. LeBron's a little bit better.
Of course you did. Guys, Spurs assistant coach Becky Hammond did something quite remarkable last night, becoming the first woman to coach an NBA game when Greg Popovich was ejected in the third quarter. Spurs and Lake. It was a great moment for her. I go way back with Becky to the days of her playing with the New York Liberty. Nobody deserves this more than her. Becky said after the game, I try not to think about the big picture because it can be overwhelming. I had a job to do. When I started covering sports a bunch of years ago, we would wait outside the locker room. The game would end. They would allow the men to come in when the athletes were dressed. They wouldn't allow the women to come in. It was usually just me. I didn't think twice. It was the way it was. Fast forward 1,000 years. I'm covering my first ever Yankees game. I'm at the lip of the clubhouse. Doors open. They let everybody in. There was a moment that I stood there and I looked around. I realized where I was, what I was doing, and who I was with. And I said, this is cool. It may not be cool one day. It may be the norm. But for right now, this is cool. And for Becky Hammond, this may not but one day be the norm. But it was a trailblazing moment for her last night. And we all applaud her for doing that. Really nicely done.
That's great.
All right, let us switch gears and get back to the NFL now. So this Rams-Cardinals game, it's a pretty big deal. Rams win, they're in. Cardinals win, they're in. For the Rams, who could also sneak in with some help, they're without Jared Goff and they're without Cooper Kupp. The Cardinals need to win the game, and thus they will be playing with Kyler Murray, who's pretty banged up after last week. Take a listen to this.
Hey, Kyler, I just want to clarify, you are going to play, correct? You hear me? Am I coming through?
What was going
I just want to clarify.
You asked me if I was going to play?
Yeah, I just want to clarify just because I wasn't sure about the first answer.
Go tweet out that I'm going to play. Yeah, I'll be playing.
All right, so we can discuss that in a little bit. Here's the race. First, let's talk about the race for the NFC's last two wild card spots. Rams are in with a win or a Bears loss. Bears also in with a win or a Cardinals loss, and the Cardinals need to win, obviously, to get in. And Kyler can't hear all the questions. Nick, let's open this up to both conferences. Which bubble team would you hate to see miss the playoffs?
Oh, well, to me, there's only one bubble team that a few weeks ago I thought could win the Super Bowl, and that's the team I would hate to miss the playoffs, and that's the Rams. The Rams were 7-3, looking great. And then Jared Goff had a 3-turnover game against the Niners. They rebounded from that. They were 9-4, and then they lost to the Jets when the Jets were actively not trying to win. And then Goff played a game against the Seahawks. I don't know if people were watching it with the sound on, but Buck and Troy were on the call. I thought Troy Aikman might be brought to tears by Jared Goff's play. He seemed so despondent about it. He was like, I don't know what he saw. Like every time he's like, Joe, I got to tell you, I don't know what he's looking at there. He just seemed like, are you kidding me, man? You got all this talent, you got this team, and you're blowing it. And if you're the Rams, who, Brandon, this will blow your mind. The last first-round pick they had was Jared Goff. They keep trading, and by the way, they don't have one next year. They keep mortgaging the future for now. They have the best player on the defensive side of the ball in Aaron Donald. They have the best corner in Jalen Ramsey. I know Kupp's banged up right now. They have a good receiving core. They have a good offensive line. They have a great coach. And if they miss the playoffs, and I understand Goff at this point is not going to play Week 17, but it would have been his play that put them in this position. If they miss the playoffs, it is such a blown opportunity. When 2 weeks ago, Brandon, they were alive for the 1 seed. So to me, I'd like to see them in, and it would be an amazing fall from where they were if they miss.
Yeah, and not only that, their defense was lights out. Remember that? Don't forget, that was the best part of this whole team. So I don't know what's happened to the LA Rams. But Nick, brother, you rarely make mistakes on TV. You're so sharp. How do you get Jared Goff's name wrong? You talk about your guy Goff and you just chop up his name? There you go.
Right.
Make sure, put respect on his name. What's his name again?
My bad.
Little tiny hands. That's why he can't get
it.
It's all tiny hands.
You're right. So,
no, you can't.
So look, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. But for me, the team is the Baltimore Ravens. Right now, it looks like they're going to get the job done. They're going to win. They'll be in. So I'm going out on a branch here a little bit. But I'm concerned. They're playing against a Cincinnati Bengals team that is embracing being the spoiler. So if they lose to Cincinnati, who just beat the Steelers, who just beat the Texans, and they did it convincingly, then this is going to be a situation where they need help. And the reason why this is a big deal is because of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, there's no guy right now that has to answer more questions in the National Football League. This is a dude who lost he lost the last 2 playoff games, and that's all we talk about. Can Lamar Jackson be a quarterback in the National Football League?
Right.
Can Lamar Jackson win the big one? When you talk about certain quarterbacks, there's a few guys that you just think of and you say that guy should win a Super Bowl. You got like Dak Prescott out there. You got Deshaun Watson's a big name that we always talk about. Like, man, this guy's going to win the Super Bowl. You have also Lamar Jackson. He is a phenomenal talent. The question mark for him is, can he last with the style of play and the brand of football that they do, that how they approach it in Baltimore? So when you look at this situation, I'm really concerned for the Baltimore Ravens. There comes a point in a player's career where they have to get over that hump that is just holding them back just a little bit. Every player is different, and it seems to be the playoffs for Lamar Jackson, Wild. So if they win, they're good, but if they lose, they need help, and there's going to be a big question mark around Lamar Jackson going into this offseason.
Yeah, I think he gets in. They've won 4 straight. This will be their 5th win. If you don't beat the Bengals without Joe Burrow, then you probably don't deserve to be in. And then Nick, I'm also a Rams guy. A little side note here. Shout out to Adam Gase. Ruined 3 seasons, perhaps. The Jets season, the Rams season, and maybe the Browns season. So Adam Gase was like, this guy's such a bad coach. I don't know. He's playing spoiler alert in a big way. But Rams not losing. Do you know why? Hero comes along named John Wolford, who started his press conference with the question, hey, by the way, how do you pronounce your name? The guy led the AAF in touchdowns and also has a LinkedIn page. Lindsey Theria said, hey, do you know you still got a LinkedIn page? He's like, yeah, I worked a little, as a financial analyst for a little while. Then I got to play a little football. So look, you want somebody to root for John Wolford, who's going to light the place up.
What?
He's going to light it up. You know, Nick, it might be. This is the hottest take of the year that I don't nearly believe. This might be a Patrick Mahomes, Alex Smith thing. Come in week 17, like, wow, this guy, we got to ride him. He's so hot. Let's go, Wolford. Want some to root for? Let's go.
How big is his hands? How big is his hands?
Bigger than golf.
I don't.
Yeah, they're bigger than golf. Brandon, I've been calling him John Swafford all week, who I think's a conference commissioner. So I didn't even have his name right, but I know he has bigger hands than golf. But I'm telling you this, Jenna, with truth serum, if you ask Sean McVay, are you any less confident with this dude you just met than you've been with golf the last month? McVay's like, no, we'll be okay. I don't think McVay looks at this as that big of a downgrade, honestly. I really believe that, Jenna.
All right, let's play a little in or out right now. You can't do that. You can't call him tiny hands. Could this be the last ride for Phillip Rivers? I'm sure you have a nickname for him. Let's not go there. Colts needing a win over the Jaguars Sunday to make it to the second season. Rivers was asked about Sunday being his last game. He said this: you have to acknowledge it as a possibility. Nick Wright, you in or out on Phillip Rivers being a Hall of Famer?
Why you ask Nick?
So
Don't
this
ask
is
Nick this question.
Well, Brandon, I'll be very quick and I'll give it to you because we need to at some point do probably an hour on this. I can't live in a world where Phillip Rivers in the NFL Hall of Fame or Pro Football Hall of Fame.